by the end of this video, you will be able to build this exact house for yourself on your survival world. Hey guys, you're watching the one and only. My name is AJ. Welcome back to another starter house tutorial. In this series, we've been going through the 10 main biomes and building a starter house that looks pretty cool, but it's pretty simple to build. Today is the Mesa biome, and I'm really excited for this one because of the amount of color options that we have. Obviously, we've got the orange of the sand, and then we've got a ton of different natural clay colors. Obviously, there are colors that we can't get naturally, like pink and purple and stuff, but a lot of them, most of them, can be found naturally. We've got brown and this sort of light, I think that's light grey. We've got white, we've got the normal hardened clay, yellow, orange, brown, and you can also get red naturally as well, but that's usually found, I think, lower down. Yeah, there's red down there naturally found. So you're going to want to find yourself a somewhat flattish, clean spot to be able to build. And I'm actually really excited because this house is a modern house. It's got sort of a modern look, but in Mesa blocks. It's really interesting, really cool. We're going to grab some cobblestone, which can obviously be found down below. One of the rules for this series is I try to only use the blocks that can be found in that biome specifically. And then we're going to grab red sandstone slabs. We're going to grab some brown stained clay, some white stained clay, and then a third block. Now there's many different color schemes that you can go for. If you're copying this tutorial for your own world, you might want to use your own colors, but I'm going to use these three mostly, at least. Step number one is we're going to do a pillar 3 blocks high, and then we're going to do another 2 of them 2 blocks away from the previous one. Okay, something like that. Then we're going to leave a block and put 2 brown ones about here, so there's a little bit of gap between them. We're going to run this down 8 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what we're going to do is we're going to build this up. We should find out exactly how high in a minute. I don't know the exact number. We're going to grab the light stained grey now, and we're going to bring this up to basically what's going to be like a second floor level. So we're going to have this coming around here, and then we're going to have our window part in. Now you can either do one big giant window, or you can split them up to be smaller. There's a lot of options with this house for customization. I think I'm going to leave it one big window, like 2 block high. What is it in total? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 block wide. We could also, we'll have to see once we get there, but we could wrap the glass around and make it a little bit more modern looking as well. We won't be able to really tell until later on. Those sort of customization options. So we're going to now bring this brown section up to the same height as the light grey one that we just done. And as you can see, where we've placed it, we've actually sort of made a corner for ourselves, which is going to be helpful because any house needs a corner somewhere, usually 4 of them when you're doing a square building. And funnily enough, most modern buildings are very square. They have very straight lines, very square feels to them. It's very rare to get a modern house that is sort of rounder. I don't know why, but the sort of modern design is to use very straight lines, perfectly straight lines, in fact. No diagonals and no curves if you look at any sort of modern house. Now if you were doing this in a city world, for example, and you're just building it to be a house, obviously you wouldn't use red sandstone slabs and clay. I would probably recommend doing it out of some sort of black block, like black wool or something, and then where these slabs are, I'd recommend using quartz. I think if you made this house in, like, let's say correct colors for a modern build, it would look absolutely cool, absolutely amazing. But it has such a cool feeling look in these colors that it's going to blend amazingly into this biome. Really cool. Okay, on this side we're going to grab another color. We're going to grab white, and I think we're going to do it back here. Now I'm going to do it the same width as the brown, which is 8 blocks. But I'm only going to do it 1 block deep instead of 2 blocks deep. What we're going to do is we're going to run this all the way up the side, 1 block higher than the light stained clay. Wow, what a tongue twister. 1 block taller, like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sort of bring this over the top in a very sort of modern style. I would say bring it over probably that many. How many did we bring that over then in total? Including this main pillar one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could bring it over further. In fact, yeah, I'll probably bring it over another 2. So that makes 8 in total. Like that. Beautiful. Okay, as we can see, we can start to see the sort of size and shape of our modern house here all coming together. We're going to need another colour, though. A colour that is going to be the sort of filler now of any other gaps. We're going to want to grab some clay. There's hardened clay that we can use. I think that's probably going to be our best option. It's also an easy one to collect as well in survival, which is what this sort of house is being designed for. We'll fill that in over the top. We need to fill in this corner one. This leaves us a sort of double opening for an entrance. We shall work out the entrance exactly in a minute. On the back here, though, we need to now work out exactly where our windows are going to go. First off, we're going to do a sort of outside perimeter of what we have available. So we're going to have this dropping down here. And along the bottom, we now have this giant square of which you can design whatever windows you like. You could even leave it all glass and just fill glass in there. I don't really know if I like that idea. I think what I'm going to do is in the middle here, I'm going to just make a sort of area like this with 2 larger windows on the bottom. This is going to be a 3x3 window here and a 3x3 window here. And then up above, I could leave that sort of long ways like that. That's a lot of space. It's a lot of glassy windows. But I do sort of like it. No, I'm going to keep it like that. I'm going to leave it like that. I like that. Okay, along the top here, we're going to use just our normal hardened clay to fill in the rest of this gap here. And we pretty much have a completed shell. Obviously, we have a big entrance here that mobs can quite easily get through. So what we're going to do is we're going to just drop back, I think, 2 blocks. Have these coming down here. And those coming down here. And now we've got our interior space. As you can see, it's a pretty tall building. Definitely big enough or designed to be 2 floors. You don't have a huge amount of space on this bottom floor. But you definitely have more than enough to do everything that you need to. Seeing as though this is just a starter house, that's what this series is all about. There's a lot of room for expansion and everything like that. It's designed to be expanded upon. Now, in Mesa biomes, you do sometimes get oak trees, like on the top of this building. So I'm going to allow oak trees or oak to be used for the door here. And we're going to put in 2 double doors, loads of doors to go in here. And we're going to want to have this block, the light stained clay. And then we have to choose our floor block. We're going to have the same floor on the ground one as we do on this first floor. But it's also going to have to be a half slab as well. I'm going to probably use oak for it. Because the only other option that we have is this stone slab that we could make. But I think it looks a little bit weird when you place a lot of these together. We can have a look. We do get a little bit of a weird design. You know what? I'm going to go with it. We're going to go with it. So this is the level that we're actually going to put the floor on. It might look a little bit weird, but when you walk up to this window, it gives you a lot more vision. Instead of being down here, being up half a slab, you can see so much more. And you can still jump. It still feels like you've got a lot of headroom. And most importantly is when you bring it to the other side, it does the same thing. So we can have these windows coming along here. Now we are going to have a staircase going up here. You can either do one of 2 things. You can either make a staircase, which I'm going to do, or you can sort of cheat, or at least make it a little bit easier on yourself, and just put a ladder going up. Obviously, a ladder doesn't take up as much room. A lot of people suggested a ladder instead of a staircase on the last house that we done in the desert. A lot of people said, I think a ladder would look good. I agree. I think a ladder would look good. I prefer the staircase, but I do think a ladder is at least easier temporarily until you maybe get the resources to get some stairs or have the time for it. It does give you more room for sure. So we should put these down here. A nice plant. I think a lovely plant would go really well there. Let's fill this part in here. And boom! Look at these modern colours that we have on the inside. Now, I'm going to use normal glass here. I know you... Can you smelt red sand into glass? You know, I've never... I might be really dumb, but I've never actually thought about it. I'm just going to do it as an experiment. Mid-video. And coal. I've never even thought about it. It looks like you can. Okay, well, there you go. So we can get glass as well. Glass panes, though, not glass blocks. And we're going to put these up and around here. If you've got the resources, you can use stained glass. But I am designing this as if it was sort of a day 1, day 2 build, where you can just grab some simple blocks and smelt them up and, you know, make the glass and everything like that. But maybe in time you could upgrade the house to have stained glass windows and any other options. Now what we can do, if we wanted to, we could wrap this around like that. Seeing as we're using the panes, it works really well. I sort of really like that idea. Wrap it around like that. Beautiful. Okay, lighting. Seeing as though it is a starter build, we're only going to be using torches. We're not going to be grabbing any sort of glowstone or redstone lamps. But I do think that redstone lamps suit really well with this block colour. The redstone lamps have a very sort of dark, reddish, orangey colour scheme to them. They blend in very well with the Mesa biome. But yeah, for this video, we're going to go with normal torches. So we're going to light up that area. On the inside, we're going to have to find a place to have a staircase. I think probably this side would be best. Let's poke out a little area and try and think about how we're going to do this. I think maybe our only option is going to be an L-shaped staircase. So this window is going to be a little bit in the way, but with the modern feel, we should be okay, especially if we maybe even use slabs for it. If we drop this down like this, and then have these dropping down, that's pretty cool. Now, it's a shame that these glass join up to the half slabs. I have no idea why they're joining up to half slabs. They never used to, as far as I know. But that's a really smooth transition, smooth, modern-looking staircase here. Might even put some glass parts in to sort of hold it up a little bit. Yeah, I really, really like that. That's really, really cool. I do wish that it wouldn't join up to the slabs, though. I can't control that, unfortunately. Okay, some lighting up here. Some strategically placed ones, nice and even around the place here. Like that. I don't know if we even need that torch. I might take that one away. Like that up here. I never do the interiors on these tutorials, though, because tutorials are very sort of personalized. You have to choose exactly where you want your bed and where you want your chests. It's different for everybody, so I leave the interiors blank for you guys to work out yourself. But I do recommend putting a plant in there. A plant would look wonderful in there. Or a ladder that goes down to a basement. That could also be a really nice sort of touch. Totally up to you. That would be a really nice way to do a cool storage system, though. Maybe even with a trap door over the top covering it up. Okay, beautiful. For the outside, it's pretty simple. We can grab ourselves some oak leaves, which obviously found on the trees up there. And I'm just going to put a couple of them up like that. On this side, it's a very blank wall, so I'm going to just put a sort of tall-ish bush going up here. I would say about that tall. I wouldn't want to go any taller. And then you're going to want to build it out just a little bit. Something like that to make a sort of natural looking one. And I think something like that as well, just here. Maybe cover up that little bit of a window there where the staircase is as well. It sort of doubles up as camouflage. Beautiful. There we go. There is our modern house. Now this one does not have any food supply, like I do like to do with these modern builds. But you could easily have some food on the outside. I think it would be really nice to actually grab some sandstone blocks. Sorry, first. some smooth sandstone blocks and put them in. Let's grab that door again. Oh, I had the door. Put the door in like this. And just dot them. Again, like the desert, we done a very similar thing in the desert house last episode. It's very subtle. You can't see too much of the difference between these blocks. But once you know it's there, it's actually a really nice look. Just a subtle checker pattern. I need normal, I don't want wrong. Like this. It's just a very subtle checker pattern going on there. But yeah, maybe some sort of food going down either side with some water. I think for the modern look to be complete, you do need at least a sort of line of water going down here. Plus, it's sort of handy to have infinite water source in the Mesa as well. But yeah, just something like that. I think that works out really, really nicely. Can we put, as a final thought, sugarcane on red sand? I know so little about red sand. It's embarrassing, really. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make some of these 3 blocks tall. I'm going to make some of them 1 block tall. And then to stop them from growing, we've done this a few times this season. We're going to, or this series, sorry. We're going to put string above any of the ones that aren't 3 blocks tall, because that will stop them from growing any taller, keeping them at that same height. Beautiful, beautiful. If you guys enjoyed it, then hit that like button. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already and you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. If you want to see more starter homes in the other different biomes, then in the description there's a link to the playlist to all the ones that I've done so far. And if you're watching this in the future, then all the ones that I ever done. We shall see you guys in the next one. Bye!